So in getting ready for the PMP exam, you realize very quickly that there's a plethora of content. There is 49 processes, such as those whizzing by behind me. There's a lot of minutia. So you got this view, for example, plan communications management, so many bits and pieces of ITTOs. And then you have smaller little pieces under project management plan and project documents and data analysis and data representation. My goodness, how do you keep it all together? That's the question. Because you could keep studying all of these processes ad nauseum, going process by process by process by process. It's crazy. So much stuff to cover. And that's why I have worked in my lab, my lab, to come out with a 5-hour energy session. That's right, 5 hours. All I need you to do is show up for your success. So if you're one of those folks who has looked at all of these processes till the cows come home and you're still like, Phil, I still don't know what to expect on my exam, you need to be in the 5-hour energy course. And if you want to sign up for that course, go on down right up there to www.hpmexam.com, because I call it a hybrid project management exam. It's huge. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering. But let's talk about the enormity of the syllabus. Still, there is something else I want to bring up. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's the content outline. And everyone is going for courses based on knowledge areas and process groups and agile, but they forget they got to pack it all together and let it stick. That's what folks are missing. And that's why in this training, we're going to be covering every single part of this content outline. People, process, business, we're going to cover it all, right? I've got a study plan in this little guide for you that you're going to get if you sign up. We have the people pieces broken out, and you can see I'm referencing where you can get that information in the PMBOK guide. And I'm also going to be referencing places of interest in the Agile Practice Guide. So you can see this is a beast of a course, but in 5 hours, we are going to be covering all of this minutia. All right, so if you are keen on signing up, you need to go on down to HPM, www.hpmexam.com. Now let's talk about the hpmexam.com site. When you get there, you'll see that we've got 2 days of training on May 11th and May 12th. We're going to be covering over 5 hours, people, process, and business. But not just that. I want you to scroll on down and go to the detailed syllabus. Day 1, we're going to be covering all of the people-oriented tasks very rapidly. But then, this is important, then we're going to be focusing on stakeholder communications, risk, and we're zeroing into people. My goodness, you do not want to miss this. Those of you that have been struggling for a long time, this is help for you at a ridiculous pittance. Because if you're looking for training for this exam, let's be honest, ever since PMI brought the cat out of the bag regarding the what do you call it, the ATP program, you know that you can barely afford training. It's through the roof. It's in the 2s and 3s of thousands and all sorts of crazy stuff. But you know, this is your buddy Phil. I'm trying to help you, trying to make it affordable, but at the same time, trying to pack all you need into this 5 hours. So if you've been struggling and you feel you need help, why don't you sign up for this program? So on day 1, we're covering the people piece, but let me show you what's going to happen on day 2. Day 2. And I know day 2, a lot of folks are, already getting into the, well, what about the risk? I'm going to show you. Day 2, we are covering risk management. Let's take a look at day 2. Day 2. There it is. Day 2. We're starting off with the process. Okay. Day 1, we're going to finish people. Day 2, we're going into process, and we are also going into business. That's right. And our focus, like I said, those of you that are like risk. Yeah, we're going to cover risk on day 2. We're going to ensure that by the time we're done, you understand the A-team principle and the easy principle. If you don't know what these are, and you're studying risk, why don't you come on down? Let me show you the A-team principle and the easy principle to help you understand the risk strategies, the risk mitigation approach, the risk acceptance approach. We're going to talk about all of those, all right? And then we're going to talk about quality. What exactly is it? From an organic perspective, how do you tackle this in the world of Agile? How do you tackle it in the world of predictive? And then we're going to cement the process and the business domains. My goodness, you do not want to miss this, okay? If you think you've been for training, my friends, that is lackluster and no good, then you need to be in my class so that we can boot you into shape to get this PMP exam under control. Trust me, I've been doing this for many, many years now. This is year 15 of training people for this exam. I got certified in 05. And like many of you, I went to my boss and said, hey, I want to take this exam. And my boss said, no, we're not going to fund it. We're not going to give you any money. But I put my money on the line. And at the end of the day, I got certified. My salary went up 300%. That's right, 300%. And it was one of the best, if not the best, career move I ever made. Because if I hadn't taken the PMP exam, all of those organizations, Fortune 500s and 100s that I was able to get into and work with and in, it would never have happened. Not to mention all the government agencies that I've trained across the world, like NASA and the FBI and the US Army and the Army Corps of Engineers. It would never have happened. But the moment I got certified, I was able to secure employment with a number of companies. I was able to get a lot of contracts and short-term stints with companies like GD, Honeywell, Motorola, American Airlines, and many more. So, my friends, I can assure you, this is for many of you the very best thing you could do for yourself. So don't shortchange yourself. Right now, I've got a steal going on. It's $299 early bird, and that's going on for the next 2 days. You will never find training of this caliber and this price anyway, I guarantee you. All right, so why don't you do the smart thing? Go on down, it's right up there, hpmexam.com, because it's a hybrid project management exam. I know PMI say it's agile, predictive, and hybrid. No, let's just call it what it is. If it has agile and it has predictive, then just call it hybrid. It's a hybrid exam. It's a hybrid exam, and you really need to be all over it, okay? By the time I'm done, you'll know what you don't know. You'll know what to do to close those gaps, and you'll feel a lot more confident about what you don't know and what to do to close the gaps. Okay, so one more thing I want to remind you of. When you're going for training, don't look, my goodness, don't just go for training that covers this perspective, all right? This perspective. This is great, but your exam has another curveball. Understanding the world of Agile, the world of Agile. And I want to share with you really quickly some feedback from one of our buddies, and a huge shout out to Jim, our buddy, who got certified and came back and shared all of these great lessons learned with us this afternoon. Jim, you're the real MVP, and we really appreciate you and how you have shared some information with us to help us better prepare for the exam. But I want to show you a few things that was shared by our buddy Jim this afternoon. Take a look at this. This will help you better understand what your exam is about. Take a look. Jim said, the former predictive exam in 2020 is focused on highly detailed processes requiring IQ, intelligent quotient, right? Whereas the new Agile exam is bent more towards interactive and synergistic, theory-based, person-to-person methodologies requiring EQ competency. See? So it's a different ball game, my friends, and you need to be ready for it. That is why I'm encouraging you, come and learn from someone who has learned from those who have recently passed the test. That's me. I keep learning from my students. This is another thing that Jim said. 80% of the exam was agile or hybrid, 15% general agile, plus 15% hybrid, and 50% scrum. And that's why when we meet, we are covering the scrum skeleton, the 5 ceremonies, the 3 roles. We are covering everything, the 353, 3 artifacts. We're covering everything, everything. And someone says, I keep hearing that no calculations were required. Yes, Jim said the same thing. He said the same thing. He talked about SPI and CPI, stuff that came out, but not to the measure a lot of people spend hours and hours preparing for. So what did we teach Jim that helped him ace his exam? That's what you're going to be learning at an extremely rapid pace, my friends. Other things we learned from Jim, they're going to be matching problems, maybe a handful of that, a handful of selecting multiple answers and things like that. And of course, numerous problems focus on your ability to choose the proper stakeholder. Think about that. The proper stakeholder or communication management approach. And when we talk about risk, several questions on risk, split evenly between agile or predictive. There is so much more. I have 38 pages that I could go over with you, but why don't you come for that training? 11th and 12th, make it a date. Hey, let's do this thing. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't play Russian roulette with your 555, your $555. Don't play games with it, okay? If you're putting that money into your exam, you might as well prepare for it so that you don't have to spend any more after you take it and kill it the first time. And that's what I'm going to prepare you for. I'm going to equip you to kill the test the first time. We don't want it roaming around, terrorizing you, being like a monkey on your back for months on end. No, we don't want that. We want to get rid of it right away. All right? You take care. Go on down, hpmexam.com. Look forward to seeing you. You take care and bye for now.